Welcome to American Reacts. In this video we're going to be watching I've lived in my American home for 3 years. It hasn't gone as planned. Let's get into it.
It's been 3 years since I moved into my first American house.
The toilet in the yard, huh? Very American.
And if you were
I like the comedy on this channel.
subscribed at the time, you may remember that I have many well-laid plans. New tiling, smooth air conditioning, because this is America, and all the appliances that YouTube superstardom can
Yep, got to do a little bit of upgrading on the house, make sure everything's in running good shape.
afford. But I'm here today to
That's the downside of owning. You got to pay for all the repairs.
admit to you that it hasn't all gone according to plan. Of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel, do that now. In the meantime, I need to get warm. For the past year, I've been keeping a secret from you all. Back in 2025, when you watched me make various American dishes from this very kitchen, I unintentionally gave you the impression that this was the only oven in the room with us. Well, it wasn't. This absolute beauty
2 ovens? That's a nice one. That looks
was just
vintage.
sitting here the whole time, propping up chopping boards and generally being forgotten about. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, why on earth do you have 2 ovens? Is that an American thing? Well, apart from the fact that my wife and I wanted one each, the reason is this. The oven that came with our house was not really to our taste. So after much discussion, we both arrived at my wife's consensus that a 1950s model would work better. And that's because we're time travelers.
That's awesome. 1950s and still running. If it was a modern one, it'd be broken in like 8 years.
Ow. Oh no. What the hell was that? But first, I want to address a question that just collectively entered your brains. What the
Look at that bacon. Looks nice and crispy.
hell was that? But first, I want to address a question that just collectively entered your brains. Why, Lawrence, if you don't like it, are you still using the oven that came with the house? And the short answer to that is procrastination. We keep putting off using the fun oven because in our heads, setting it up would just be another task on top of all of the other tasks. But then, we don't do the other stuff either, which pinpoints exactly why a lot of things haven't gone as planned.
So now it's turned into extra counter space.
You see, American homes tend to come with more responsibilities than British ones. Whether it's decluttering a garage that's twice the size of the one that I had back home, or changing out the filter on my air conditioner.
Yeah, we say garage a little bit different.
So given the grueling demands of being an international YouTube sensation, it just seemed easier to give up on the house. That is, until I looked a bit more closely at this. No, not the camera, the thing that it's sitting in. In this house we love a good fold-out coffee table. Unfortunately, this one didn't
My friend had a coffee table like that as a kid.
of us back. Mainly because the humans of the house did this, and the dogs of the house did this. So now that the dogs have finally grown out of table legs, we have some important breaking news. We bought a new coffee table.
This really is a clever way to make this into content.
A quote
Very entertaining.
often attributed to Vincent van Gogh is, "Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together." For us, this coffee table represents the first small step in a long line of
Puppy
small
dog.
steps to come. And when I say small,
Oh, look
it
at
took
'em.
2 hours. Anyway, before the world's media, we can now reveal our new coffee table. And please, no autographs at this time. Of course, this is all a reminder that my home life should never take a back
Hopefully they're officially done chewing.
seat to my life as an internet phenomenon, especially when DIY projects like this oven can be incorporated into my future videos. That said, to entertain my future, you have to understand my past. 3 years ago, when we hadn't fully moved in yet, I spent a couple of nights sleeping in this old house by myself. I don't recommend it. Between the odd, sometimes very odd creak and the hum of the heating, I laid there in a puddle of my own sweat. But this is silly, I thought, patting my head dry. Even thousands of people who watch my videos don't yet know I live here. I think we're fine. And then I was like, well, what if my internet connection is compromised? I might wake up to some over-enthusiastic subscriber who gained access to my mortgage and is way too into hammers. But then I had a vision. 3 years from now, private internet access will
That sounds scary.
sponsor my video. Or here's that. Technically, it gets to where it's going, but a lot more. Either way, I'm ready, guys. What time is it, Lawrence? It's that time of year again when my house becomes unbearably hot due to a tree about 500 feet away. And you might be thinking, what does a tree have to do with the temperature of your house, Lawrence? It all has to do with something that I spoke about a few years ago, poplar fluff. This invasion of what looks like the inside of a pillow gets all over everything, including my
Is that cottonwood? We have cottonwood trees here where I live, and a certain time every year they shed cotton everywhere. And if you got allergies, it can be pretty bad.
HVAC. And when that happens, the air conditioning unit in my house becomes frozen over and stops working, a bit like Chicago in winter. So it's my job, as somebody who's done this before, to clean it. Now, it might seem wacky to be using the vacuum cleaner outside, but honestly, I've done this before in two different ways. One with wiping it off using some sort of cloth, and secondly,
I don't see anything wrong with using the vacuum cleaner.
with this. And I will say, this is probably the most effective method for getting the cottonwood or poplar fluff off your HVAC. It's also
Okay, so it is cotton from cottonwoods.
the most satisfying. Because
Yeah, that works really well.
I've caught it fairly early this year, there's not actually a lot of cottonwood on the machine itself. There was one
I couldn't imagine using a cloth trying to wipe it off.
time a couple of years ago where this absolutely got decimated, and that's what absolutely destroyed our air conditioning at the time.
Yeah, that cottonwood's thick. That's what it looks like here.
Despite battling nature's various attempts at dandruff, I haven't spent nearly enough time in my yard. And it's a yard that's had to endure 5 or 6 heavy snowfalls in the past several weeks. And to put that into context, that's awful. But you know what's even worse? The fact that I'm filming in a wind chill of -30.
Well, it doesn't look like there's too much snow. Not too bad, I suppose.
Fellow Midwesterners will know that during these conditions it's a good idea to let your faucet drip so that the pipe doesn't burst, and no, that's not a euphemism.
Yeah, the reason you do that is because the water in the pipe keeps moving, and so moving water is not as easy to freeze.
Also have to do most of the things outlined in this video, which you'll watch after this one. And I've put more salt down on my property in the last month than Wendy's has on all of its fries. Actually, I'm being told that's not true, even though I've lived in the region for the better part of a decade.
Wendy's can definitely have some salty fries, and same with McDonald's. I've had some pretty salty fries at McDonald's before, too.
Midwestern home ownership requires a lot more manual labour than Midwestern renting, which goes to show that procrastination isn't the only reason that our house got on top of us. Because if you have to spend energy dealing with this, you have less desire to do things like this. So actually procrastination is the only reason. But not anymore, which is why I'm finally ready to answer the question that all of you have had while watching this video.
Why is the toilet in the yard?
Why do you have a broken toilet in your yard? Well, that depends on the answer that you're looking for. If you're looking for the literal answer, it goes a little bit like this. The upstairs toilet we inherited wasn't exactly operating at 100%. And yes, before you ask, I do realise after all these years that the high water level of American toilets is a feature and not a bug. And so while I was busy working at the coffee shop, my wife called in the plumber, which, shut up, and he determined that the whole thing needed replacing. In fact, he offered to install it should we wish to buy a new one. I say offered, he still sent us an invoice to remind us that he's a contractor first and a friend second. Anyway,
You gotta make that money, man. But have good service at the same time.
right after that we got a new toilet, and this one ended up in the yard. The end. Or is it? Well, no, because that'd be anticlimactic.
You can turn this into a garden planter. Put some dirt in there, put some flowers in there.
Instead, I'm going to hit you with a twist so profound you could spread it on rye bread. This toilet is not the toilet that came with the house.
Hello, neighbor.
Yeah, no, I'm filming another video. Yeah, I have to hide forever. So yeah, the
Is Lawrence doing that accent?
toilet out there is a mysterious third toilet that you're all about to feel really sorry for. During its early time on planet Earth, life was looking up for this young prodigy. With a perfect sheen, it rolled off the assembly line of wherever it is toilets are made, and it was given one directive: go to Lawrence's house. See, that is the replacement toilet. But hold on, Lawrence, you just told us that we got a new toilet and this one ended up in the yard. Yes, I did. But what I didn't tell you is that this is a replacement for the replacement. So what I told you was true from a certain point of view. Basically, while travelling 144 miles from Wisconsin, an admittedly short trek in American terms, the poor thing couldn't handle Midwestern roads, and I have to say, I've never related
Yeah, I often drive like 150 miles just to go camping for the weekend.
more to a toilet in my life. It arrived in a million different pieces, with shards of porcelain strewn
Fever tree.
across the delivery box.
It didn't stand a chance. It died that morning before it could even have a proper christening. So why
R.I.P.
is it in my
toilet.
yard? Well, it's in my
R.I.P.
yard because today I had the bright idea of carrying it to the trash out back, which was before my lower back said, "What the f*** are you doing?" And so I figured I'd just include it in the video. After all, what's a better metaphor for a house that hasn't gone according to plan than a broken toilet? What's that?
Your camera.
Yeah, no, I almost think I should hit record. I suppose a perspective shot from within inside a toilet would symbolise many things right
Your
now.
camera's in the
about a month
toilet.
ago, the reason that you saw me talking to a toilet is because sadly that's what my viewers have come to expect.
Okay, see you later, Lawrence.
All right, yeah, take care. Oh, it was recording. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any housing mishaps. And in the meantime, here are some of the things that confuse me about life in the American...
Very funny. He's got a very British comedy style, obviously. Reminds me of like British comedy movies. No, I'm always happy to watch Lawrence video and see the differences between the UK and the US, and how he's changed living in the US. If you liked that video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to help support the channel for free. If you want to watch Lawrence's video, there'll be a link for that in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.